Yo, what is up, guys? And we are back for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And you guys can go ahead and watch. This is more or less just going to be like background. I'm grinding up some Zenny to get up over 1 billion Zenny before all of these EZAs go away. So, I'm going to go ahead and just leave this kind of as background, and I'm kind of just going to chat away. So what I want to do in this video is more or less do kind of like a retrospective on what I enjoyed about the anniversary and maybe some things that I didn't enjoy so much. So again, if I forget anything, if I leave anything out that's like huge and whatever, maybe I'll come back and even amend the video. Or if I forget even after editing, just let me know in the comments below if I missed anything egregious or some things that maybe you didn't care for, you know. I don't know, just let me know in the comments below, or things that you really enjoyed. So, I guess we can go ahead and just dive right in. So, what I want to do is start with the negatives, maybe some things that I didn't quite enjoy so much. And then we'll go ahead and end on a positive note, and then we'll go ahead and finish with the positives, right? So, starting with the negatives, some things that I will not be addressing in this particular video are things like the friend system, right? I mean, obviously that's something that needs a desperate upgrade. You know, the friend system, again, another thing that needs a desperate upgrade. World tournament, right? Like, duh. Like, water is wet, you know, boobs are fun. You know, tell me something I don't know, right? So, I'm not going to be addressing that or chain battle or any of these things that really need serious help. More things that are directly related to the anniversary. So, number one, first and foremost, I would say content. So content maybe seems a little bit unfair. So with the content, I think that it's also going to wind up on the positive side too. But let's go ahead and start with the negative side of the content. So I thought for part one, there was a fair amount of content, right? So for part one, I actually found myself with like, hey, like I can hop in every single day to this game and I actually have things to do that is not named grinding links. You know, it's not grinding Zenny, it's, you know, not just running random Dokkan events. It's, you know, I can actually do stuff, right? Including, like, Super Battle Road. But, you know, they got to a certain point in the anniversary, particularly in, like, specifically part 3, but even in part 2 and then toward the end of part 1, we're like, man, there really seem to be some dry periods. And in an anniversary, I feel like there shouldn't really be any dry periods. They should have maybe been dropping things. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to go like the Legends route and say like, oh yeah, drop a weekly raid battle or something. Like I don't want to do that. But honestly, maybe like a 100-stage raid event. Like we haven't had one of those in years now, dude. I don't know why they suddenly magically got rid of that. I feel like if you just drop something like that, like I think it really heightens the value of the anniversary. You know, usually in those raid events, you're getting orbs, you're getting, you know, in the Omega Shenron raid, for instance, like, they gave us, you know, the medals to EZA, a free-to-play Spirit Bomb, you know, the Universal Spirit Bomb Goku from GT, like, we got the medals, and we actually I think got the card drop from the same event, right? But you had to grind it to stage 100. You know, even if they dropped one of those at the very end for part 3, like, if they dropped it, like, I don't know, like from the time of this video, if they would have dropped it like, you know, 2 or 3 days ago or something, just to really wind down the anniversary, I would have really enjoyed that. And maybe that's a bit of a nitpick, but I just really feel like there were some noticeable periods that were quite dry in terms of content. Again, specifically toward the end of part 1, before part 2 came, there just was nothing to do. And then part 2... and then part 3, specifically part 3, I found like it was hardly even a part 3, right? Like we got an EZA area and that was it. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one to me is maybe the most egregious. The thing that I don't like the most about these anniversaries on Global, it's the banners, right? The banners, albeit incredibly high value with the tickets, you know, especially later on, we get the rainbow thank you tickets, right? So very high value, but straight up, man, when they get to Global, straight up, dude, the banners have aged. Like, the banners were not, I mean, they were solid, they were pretty good. Like, yeah, they had Buhan, they had AGL Gohan, they had Incel. They had some really good Dokkan Fest LRs, but it's like, dog, the Super Saiyan 4s again? It's like, come on, and I know that not everyone has them rainbowed, I've actually gotten quote-unquote incredibly lucky, even though I've gotten like very unlucky, and I have both of the SS4s rainbowed. Because I basically never pull the main featured unit on their first banner. Almost never, right? I did in the anniversary. Well, we took a lot of damage there. Hey, okay. So, but again, I've gotten quote-unquote lucky because I've gotten so unlucky so many times, right? So anyway, I've got the Super Saiyan 4s rainbowed, and I know that not everyone does. But still, man, it seems like they are on every single Dual Dokkan Fest. I'm getting a little tired of seeing them. I mean, straight up, dude. I mean, I never thought I'd see the day, but over the last 2 years... have they been on like 10 banners? They are literally on every Dual Dokkan Fest banner. I mean, it seems like it anyway. But yeah, the Super Saiyan 4s, you had units like Angel Golden Frieza. I mean, unless he gets an EZA in the near future, that's an L, dude. Like, no one runs Int Angel Golden Frieza. You should have replaced him with the Fizz Golden Frieza, man. Talk about a great value banner, right? That's amazing. And, you know, and then on the Vegeta banner, you had, I mean, Kefla's, you know, good, but she kind of aged upon release, essentially. And then you have, like, Tech Hit, and, like, you know, MVP 17 is actually still pretty good. And his EZA is probably going to have the most profound effect in the game's history, right? So all of the teams he'll be buffing with his crazy defensive support and key support and damage reduction, all of those things that we love him for, right? But again, he's an old unit. Probably most of us have at least a couple of dupes in him. I just feel like when you have these anniversaries, right? The anniversary on Global, and at the point of, if you think about it, from the time JP has their anniversary toward the end of January, you know, end of January usually ends around the end of February, right? And then shortly after that, they are getting Saiyan Day. We actually might die here. Holy shit. Okay. I see you, Dokkan. I see you. I definitely see you. So, but if you really think about it, man, we get 2 celebrations with JP. So we are operating on this, we're just kind of in La La Land, right? We're like, we get these banners that are just kind of subpar. If you think about the quality of the banners, like in SSJ Broly banner, it wasn't the craziest banner, but like he himself was so busted, right? Like that banner to me was worth summoning on. And I mean that again, it didn't have the best units on it for sure, not the greatest banner, but again, you've got Int Broly on it, who makes it all worth it. And then you've got the GT Super Saiyan units, right? Like, they are better than most LRs in the game. You know what I mean? Like, I would argue they're probably better than both of the Part 2 LRs. I mean, honestly, like, honest to God, I would say that they are better than Universe 7, and they are better than Golden Frieza 17. So, again, that's just my opinion, but, you know, again, Global just kind of ends up in La La Land, where like we've got these banners that just have aged, and then straight up, dude, the banner units, the secondary units that are like, you know, they're new but they're not the main featured LRs. So you guys know who I'm talking about: Gohan and Piccolo, and then of course Gohan and Golden Frieza. Like, dude, those units like are just not really that impressive. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but they just are not really that impressive. I actually do like the Gohan and Piccolo, but I mean, compare them to like Gohan, like the banner unit Gohan and Goten. I mean, like, it's just like lights out. And then the Trunks and Goten from the Super Saiyan banner, the Super Saiyan GT banner. It's just like, it's not even close, dude. Like, you know, and then these units are only providing, is it 1 key and 20% or 2 key and 20%, you know, support? That's not really like that great of a support unit. And I know that they're providing other things, bringing other things to the table, but to me, they just seem a little bit less impressive than those units. And, you know, technically on Global, like, you know, they're technically newer than the GT support units. So I don't know, man. Again, it's just kind of weird, the position that we're in. And then it's like you even look back to the 5-year banners. Dude, the 5-year banners weren't even all that great, you know, when they got around to Global. You know, you obviously you had the main LRs, right? Gogeta and Vegito on Global, they were still the best units in the game, I think, hands down. But then you had Bardock and Guine, and then you had that Trunks and Mai unit. Like, they're both pretty good, but I wouldn't say that they're anything like super crazy busted. You know, they both have pretty good active skills, I would say. That is the best part about them. And then, like, you had the likes of, like, Trunks and Zamasu on those banners. You know, Trunks and Zamasu, even on Global, they are closing in on 3 years old. I mean, that's pretty wild, right? I mean, they're old, right? Like, they're old units, and they made it onto the 5-year banners, you know what I mean? I guess at the time they were only 2 years old, but still. I guess, like, my whole point of, like, talking about these negatives, that's the one thing, man, I really feel like they can improve on. I feel like this is something that does need to be addressed in the future. And I'm not saying that the 5 most recent, or the, you know, let's just say like the 10 most recent Dokkan Fests should be on the banners. But instead of throwing the LR Super Saiyan 4s on banners, why not throw on the EZA TURs? If you know you're going to be EZAing these units, dude, the EZA TURs are never on banners, right? Like they were, I think, were they on the GT banner? I think they were on the GT banners, but other than that, they hadn't been on a banner in a long time, and I would say that they are hands down just straight up better than the LRs. I think that it's not, I mean, is it even really close? Does anyone really disagree on that? I feel like that's kind of the general consensus. So, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot that they can do with these banners moving forward. And again, it doesn't need to be, you know, the 20 most recent Dokkan Fest, you know, you guys know what I'm saying, like, in terms of the 10 featured unit banners. It doesn't need to be the 8 most recent, but I'm just saying. What else? So, and then another thing is they are 10 featured unit banners. I am never a big fan of the 10 featured unit banner. You're right in between that, you know, the 12 featured unit traditional legendary summon banner and then a Dokkan Festival exclusive banner. You're right smack dab in the middle. And what that means is it's per multi-summon. If you are looking for one particular character, you have about a 5% chance of pulling that character in a pool of 10 featured units and 221 unfeatured units, which were indeed on. That's exactly how those banners were structured. It makes it tough to pull the units, dude. And, you know, I know that we'll get to the positives here again. I want to end on a positive note. But, dude, these 10 featured unit banners, man, they are just straight up. They're not really... They ain't it, man. They are not it to me. I've never been a huge fan of them, and I imagine most of you are not either. They're just, it makes it tough, dude. I know people who have pulled neither of the new LRs, and it sucks, dude. I got super lucky on Vegeta's banner, and I went hella deep on Goku's banner. That's how I got both of them. But like, if you're not getting at least a little tiny bit of luck, I feel like the odds are you're not walking away with either. Even with all the free multi-summons and shit, you have to do about 20 multis to have a decent chance at getting the units. That's kind of the way the math works out. You're at about a 65% chance if you can do 20 multis. So, anyway, guys, these are just kind of some of the negative things. Now, let's move on to some positive things, because I really do feel like I didn't want to just be doom and gloom about this anniversary, because I feel like those are the things I'm talking about are relatively nitpicky. Like, I really do. When you look at the grand scheme of the anniversary, I feel like I'm nitpicking a bit for the negatives, and maybe I'm reaching a little bit. So let's just go ahead and get on with it. Let me get my rotation set here, and we'll go ahead and move on with the positives. So the positives. The content, as I mentioned, like the content I definitely listed as a negative, but there were definitely some positive aspects to all of the content that we got. And in terms of anniversaries prior, like this one probably had the most. Maybe you could say the 4-year anniversary in terms of content was maybe even a teensy tiny bit better. But the 4-year anniversary, dude, didn't have like an EZA LR, right? You know what I mean? So a lot of traditional EZAs in the 4-year anniversary. I mean, they had several EZAs before Part 3 where we got the was Goku and Vegeta Jr., were they Part 2? Or were they Part 3? They might have been Part 2. I don't remember right offhand. It's been a minute. But again, man, I think that the content was definitely... Again, I would open up the game, and like every single day I'd open the game for probably the first, I don't know, 7 or 8 days. I had like something to do. I'm like, this is sick. And then, you know, including like, you know, I pulled Goku. I didn't pull Vegeta for the first, I don't know, 10 days of the anniversary or something. I pulled him right before the discounts went away. So I still had like Dokkan events to grind and stuff like that. So for me, the content I really was a fan of, right? But, yeah, Part 1, I found it was really good. Early in Part 2, we also had quite a bit to do. And then Part 3 was kind of meh. But again, it's part 3. Basically, it's just an extension of part 2. They just kind of call it part 3, right? Just to separate the... I suppose it was realistically to separate the free-to-plays and then the banners. I mean, that's pretty much why they separate them into parts. So, content, I thought was actually well done in terms of other anniversaries, especially, dude, compared to the trash, just the literal bag of trash that the 5-year anniversary was when you compare it to this. Dude, the 5-year anniversary, if looking back on it now, I'd give that thing maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10. I think at the time I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10 because the 4-year anniversary was so good. I mean, the 4-year anniversary for, you know, again, for the better part of 2 years has been the gold standard of anniversary. And then the 5-year, I felt like they really took a step back, like a big step back. No content. They gave out less stones. Like, it was bad. The 5-year anniversary, if you weren't around or you weren't, you know, on YouTube or whatever, like the general consensus was, man, is that the 5-year anniversary was not really that good. And I agreed. I was maybe even a little harder on it than most people. So, but anyway, I really quite liked the content. You know, again, we're talking about, we'll get onto more of the content as we go, but let's just say the content I really, really liked. So, another positive, big time positive, the main featured LRs, and I'm of course talking about AGL, UI Goku, and then Int Evolution Blue Vegeta. They are damn near perfect units. They are almost perfect in every single way. If I were to find things wrong with them, they would be nitpicks, right? I mean, straight up. Like, they are that good. They are that powerful. They really feel like they are anniversary-worthy units. There was discussions about Blue Gogeta and Tech Vegito still not being better than Kale and Caulifla, and I think in a lot of situations, LR Kale and Caulifla at the Rainbow level, you know, level 10 links and all of that, they could even still look more impressive than the Blue Fusions. There are situations in which the Blue Fusions look better, but I think the point remains is that these 6th-year anniversary LRs, I don't think it's even close. It's not even a competition. These guys just, to me, feel like just the best units in the game. They are 1 and 2. Easy. So, and then again, you know, the Easy A of LR Goku and Frieza, a really, really awesome touch. And this kind of correlates to content and the characters. I mean, I really like the characters. We'll go over the other characters too. Not in explicit detail, but we'll go over them in a minute. But, you know, you have Goku and Frieza. Essentially, you guys know, obviously, the anniversary was centralized around the bonds of Universe 7. So it only made sense that Goku and Frieza would get their Easy A. And then, of course, in UI Goku, like... Again, in terms of the characters, man, they are all almost perfect in every single way. The summonable units I'm talking about. So, you know, LR Goku and Frieza finally getting defense is so huge. I mean, they are so good. After their 18-key Superman, they can't take damage from almost anyone. They are wildly powerful, even defensively. They're pretty tanky after they 18-key Super. So... But again, moving on from that, I guess we can move on to the rest of the units, the free-to-play units. I really, really, really enjoyed the free-to-play units. So even down to the best one in LR Master Roshi, down to the worst one in Krillin and 18, they're all at least useful. Krillin and 18, you can easily run in the GT Legendary Goku event and absolutely just shit-wreck the Super Saiyan 4 Goku right at the end, the full power Super Saiyan 4, you absolutely just decimate him because they obviously have type advantage and they're shelling out like, by the end of that event, they're shelling out like 4, 5, 6 million attack stats like consecutively. Like they can potentially triple super if you get them their 5 orbs. Like they're still pretty wild in the long event. In the short event, yeah, they suck. I mean, straight up, they suck in the short event. But in the long event, man, they are built for it. And then you've got LR Master Roshi, one of the most well-designed units in Dokkan history, I would say. I would say that easy. So he's sitting there, you know, Rainbow level 10 links. He's sitting there with usually over 150,000 defense. In a lot of cases, if you've got him with Tien and Roshi, he's sitting there with like 200,000 defense. A little bit more support on rotation. He can be sitting there with like 250k. I mean, he is an absolute wild boy. And then beyond that, again, in the right situation, he can hit a 7 million attack stat, you know, with pretty much regularity, you know, with some support on rotation. He's got the guaranteed seal on his 18 key super. He's got the stun on his 12 key. Like, he is so good, dude. I mean, you guys know at this point, this guy is crazy. Again, we talked a little bit about Tien and Roshi, the free-to-play UI Goku. If you don't have, like, STR UI Goku, you know, this guy is... I would argue in a lot of situations you're running him over other units. If you're just trying to bolster up your big LRs, why not run the free-to-play UI Goku, right? He's a 40% 3-key support unit. Like, dude, he's crazy. Crazy. He's got a 50% chance to dodge. I love that unit, dude. I use him actually quite a bit on these Reps of U7 teams. You know, him and, again, LR Master Roshi. I use all of the free-to-play. I use all of these free-to-play units. You know, and then after, especially after their easy A's, man, they're just lights out, dude. They're just lights out. I love all of these units. I grinded all their links. They are all maxed out, done. Like, they were worth the grind for sure. And I guess we can kind of move on to the rest of the positives of the anniversary. One thing I would be remiss to mention, I just want to mention it now so I don't forget, because I didn't write this one down, is the special friend summon. That was something that JP has never got, and more than likely will never get. So that's kind of just like a global exclusive thing. The special friend summon, dude. I think at one point I had over 100 dozing Kais, like, because they just did such a, like, they kill it with that. That thing is so cool. I love that special friend summon so much. It got a lot of my characters to SA10 or SA20. So, and then obviously you can get Grand Kais of every type, and if you get lucky enough, you can even get Elder Kais. I absolutely love that special friend summon, and you can get so much Zenny. So much fucking Zenny. Between that and Easy A's, I mean, again, I went from a very modest, I don't know, I think I've gone up like 500 million Zenny or something in this celebration. Like, it's pretty crazy. Now, I've made a pretty concerted effort to grind Zenny, but still, man, between all of the Easy A's being up and these LRs just being so overpowered for them, between that, and then again, the special friend summon, man, I absolutely love that. What a great thing Dokkan has done. And I hope that this is a precedent. I hope that this is a sign of things to come with this special friend summon. I hope they drop it in every major celebration. I absolutely love the special friend summon. And actually, I do hope, I mean, I'm not trying to be like, you know, a stuck-up global player or something. I actually hope JP gets it, because it is ridiculously good. The amount of Zenny and Kais you can get is just so crazy. So, well, let's move on from that. Going on to the events. So I actually quite liked the story events. I loved the introduction of all of the support memories. That's, I would say, another positive to the game for sure, on the positive side over here. The support memories, I would say that they are definitely more important than essentially the extension of the hidden potential system that are skill orbs. I felt like the skill orbs are, I don't want to say they're unnecessary, especially when you get to, you know, when you're trying to do like challenge runs, or you're really trying to, if you're like free to play and you've got some units at 55%, and like, you know, if you've got like for me, for instance, like AGL, Kale, and Caulifla, like, if without the skill orbs, I wouldn't be able to get them to crit, right? So for a free-to-play player or someone who's just, you know, can't pull these units or whatever, skill orbs are good. But, you know, again, I would definitely say the support memories are way more significant of an impact than the hidden potential system. Giving these out-of-turn buffs, you can essentially grind them infinitely. If you can beat all of the stages of the God event, you can get that the very special, very amazing Zeno support memory. That Zeno support memory, dude, is so, so powerful. That buff you get for the whole entire event is very, very good. So let's get you the 18 key. Let's keep going here. So yeah, the support memories, and then the events, the story events I'm talking about specifically, right? I really did quite like the story events. They are still mildly relevant, right? So like I can actually sit there and remember like, oh yeah, this is what happened during the anime. Like, I remember watching this, you know, that kind of thing. Like, when some of these other story events drop, like, I might not necessarily remember right offhand. I mean, I'm a pretty big Dragon Ball fan, but I'm not like a mecha super mega ultra fan, you know what I mean? I'm not like a Geekdom 101 encyclopedia of Dragon Ball, you know what I mean? I don't remember every single thing, so it is kind of nice to, it's that relevancy, the recency bias. So I did quite like the story events, and then, you know, the drop rates are good on all these characters. Like, it's not like grinding free-to-plays of yesteryear, where you got to go through the same fucking stage 100 times before you can get 14 copies. It's not like that anymore. And I quite enjoy that. I don't miss those days. You know, people who talk about, you know, Dokkan being better during that time, I wonder what game they were playing, honestly. Like, because it's way better now with the boost and all of those things. Like, having the actual physical boost, and then, of course, having the category bonus, right? Like, both of those things, like, really make it pretty easy to grind some of these free-to-plays up, so... I did quite like the events. Another event that we can go over, I didn't talk about too much, is the God event. I did quite like the God event, man. The God event is easily the most challenging stuff in the game. Maybe you could say, like, Extreme Super Battle Road or something is more challenging, but, like, by and large, the God event, it is a very good showcase of how powerful is this unit. Because in the God event, it's like, you don't get a chance to set rotations, you don't get a chance to do shit, and you can only use one item. You have two chances to use one item, right? Essentially is how that works. So it just like, pretty much it's just like, these are the units, this is what it can do in the most challenging event in the game. So I quite like that. I really do like the God event. Like, it's a lot of fun to run. So, and for those of you who are struggling with the God event, you just have to bolster up your box a little bit more. I think some of the stages you could maybe get done, you know, mostly free to play, but straight up, man, you're going to need some powerful LRs, you're going to need some powerful Dokkan Festival exclusives, and you're going to need dupes in them. Straight up. I don't think there's really any other way about it. So, but I do like the God event. I think that this has been a very good balance overall. I think that it's been... a very good balance of, like, a casual player can hop in. Oh, we died. Check it out. Okay. I wasn't really paying attention, so... I think it's been a good balance of, like, the hardcore player, maybe like me or, you know, some of the other homies. Like, I think that we can hop in and we can always have something to do because we can grind Zenny, we can grind Links, we can do whatever. And then also for the casual player, you can sit there for an hour, grind up a free-to-play unit, put the phone down, and then you can kind of just go about your day. Maybe you pick it up for an hour later, you grind up another free-to-play unit. You know what I mean? So I really think they found a nice balance in this anniversary, and I commend them for it. Like, I am a big fan of this anniversary. That's why, like, I wanted to start with the negatives, because I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, great, Flex just being a fucking Debbie Downer again. It's like, no, I really enjoyed the anniversary. I would call this one, I mean, if it's not a 10 out of 10, it's a 9.5 out of 10. Again, maybe the slight nitpicks, maybe I bring it down to a 9.5, but it was damn near perfect, man. I mean, honestly, overall, it was very, very good. Very good. They dropped a lot of stuff. What else? So, obviously, like, you know, another big one, the Dragon Stones, all the free summons, like, combined, if you combine all the... I don't even know. I couldn't even give you an accurate number, but they dropped over 960 Dragon Stones to us. For everything, free Dragon Stones in a month. That's wild. I mean, it felt like an anniversary, which I loved. The 5-year anniversary to me did not feel like an anniversary. It just felt like an average celebration, whatever. This felt like an anniversary. There was just constant content, again, for the most part. There was constant content, lots and lots of free rewards. Free stuff is always great to, you know, keep your player base happy. Between all of the Dragon Stones and then all of these special thank you tickets, not to mention the global exclusive summon tickets, I mean, did they give out 2,000 Dragon Stones or more? Like, if you combine all of them together, maybe. It probably pretty close. Maybe 1,500. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to really sit down and do the, you know, crunch the numbers or whatever. Maybe someone on the Reddit has seen that or something. Maybe you can let me know in the comments below if you have any idea. But all of the rainbow tickets, dude, all of the summon tickets, if you used only free-to-play Dragon Stones, I actually probably could do the math on that. I'm not going to do it right now at this very moment, but I could do the math on that. Maybe I'll tweet about it or something. But, dude, so much free shit. And then not to mention all of the orbs and everything else that they've given out. Again, I mentioned the Zenny. Like, they've done a lot. They did a lot for their player base in this anniversary. They did do, I feel like they did everything in their power to make sure you could at least get one copy of one of the main LRs. I really do feel that way. They did damn near everything in their power, short of just dropping them in your gift box. So, what else? I just feel like, just to kind of wrap it up, man, like I said before, it felt like an anniversary, which I liked. The 5-year anniversary was absolute gutter trash compared to this one, dude. The 4-year anniversary was very, very good. Honestly, hard to find any flaws in the 4-year anniversary either until you compare it to the 6-year anniversary, excuse me. So, but anyway, guys, kind of in conclusion, the 4th year anniversary was great. You know, 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, whatever you want to call it. 5th year anniversary, they took a monster step back, maybe a 5 out of 10 from me. This anniversary, I'll just say it, 10 out of 10. It was a 10 out of 10 anniversary, and it makes me look forward. The biggest part about all this is it makes me look forward to future celebrations. The 5-year anniversary was again, I don't want to understate it, was a monstrous step back. A lot of people were unhappy. A lot of people stepped away from the game, you know, from the 5-year anniversary on. So lots of less stuff they gave away, lots and lots and lots of less content, right, in the 5-year anniversary. So bravo to you, Dokkan. You've done it again. Guys, let me know what you think of my list in the comments below. None of these are in any particular order. I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out there, more of just like a free-flowing kind of video. So if you enjoyed this style of video, slap a like on it, and of course, consider subscribing if you happen to be new. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world to me. And I will catch all of you in the next one. Later.